Hello everybody. I'd like to tell you why the left and woke people are hypocrites. So something happened recently, as well as just, like overall observations, if you will. There's that the leftist and woke society are hypocrites. And that is because they claim that they are all about free speech and all acceptance, and yet when you try and talk about anything that's not what they believe in specifically, like if you speak against any of the leftist stuff, even if it's in a very civilized, what's the word? There's a word. A diplomatic way, which means like in the nicest way possible. You're talking about something like you're not like totally against it, but you're just like talking about what's wrong with it or something that's not, like you're just sort of like for instance, like making a joke that might be quite harmless, but it's considered racist or it's considered this, that, the other. But I'm gonna give you some like proper real examples, which I have in one of my other live streams. In fact, a few of them. I'll give you my experiences anyway, because then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And things that I've said before. And in my mind, they're harmless. Okay, so leftists include feminists and like, I think it's called the Me Too movement or something. And it's basically where all feminists are women that are of a feminist nature, even if they're not specifically feminists, like they don't call themselves feminists, basically say that, obviously they're like about like, what's the word? Like they're against sexual harassment of any kind. Now apparently sexual harassment comes under also the category of like just compliments. So feminists have stated that even if a man was to come up to a woman and say, you look very beautiful, or you've got really nice hair, or your outfit's really nice, pretty, whatever, apparently that's considered sexual harassment. Or even if like a man goes up to a woman, like in real life, on the street, out shopping, whatever, that's considered sexual harassment if they ask him out, which is disgusting. That's pretty. Sexual harassment. That is not sexual harassment. Sexual harassment is not complimenting a woman. I'll tell you what. Now, which one is offensive to you? Is this offensive? Oh, you look very nice today. Or, oh, your outfit's beautiful. Your hair's lovely. You've got a really nice body. It's a really nice shape. Or is this sexual harassment? Oh, nice tits, love. Oh yeah, come and boink me anytime, love. That's fucking sexual harassment. Those others, like even the one about the body, like, oh, you've got a really nice, you look sexy. Like, I don't know, that's not sexual harassment, even though it's kind of borderline, because you're talking about their body and you're talking about being sexy. But to me, that's mild. But them other ones like, oh yeah, nice tits, love. Oh, you got a nice ass. And then maybe they slap their ass or something, they spank them. My mum has had that. Like, my mum had a guy come up to her in her work and literally put his nose in her crotch region. This is at work, remember. It's supposed to be like a professional environment. My mum had men just coming up to her and slapping her on the ass, or making comments, like sexually devious comments. Oh, hi Dean, by the way. Nice to see you. Now that's sexual harassment. But just complimenting a woman in a nice way, a pleasant way, or asking a woman out is not sexual harassment. Now it can be considered sexual harassment if, like, you ask a woman out and she said no, and then the man continues to sort of keep harassing her about it. That's sexual harassment. Pretty. Well, not sexual harassment, it's just normal harassment, like stalker, like stalkerish behavior. So that's obviously not good. But just asking a woman out, the fact that they complain about that is ludicrous, because, how is anyone supposed to like get into relationships if nobody's asking anybody out, because it's considered sexual harassment. And this is where the hypocritism, I don't know the word. This is where it becomes hypocritical. It becomes hypocritical when they go on and on and on and on about free speech and stuff like that. How is stifling someone's free speech by saying you can't compliment a woman? You can't ask a woman out because it's considered sexual harassment, and they could actually like get you. I don't know if it's suing them, but whatever it is, it's like get them in trouble with the law in some capacity or other. Anyway. Just for asking a woman out or complimenting a woman. If that is the case, and that is true, that women can get men done with the law for asking a woman out or complimenting, that's kind of stifling their free speech. Hi David, nice to see you again. Nice to see everyone. We've got 2 people watching at least. I had about 3 before. Oh, it's down to 1 now. Bugger. Some deckers down here. Anyway, so that's one example anyway. So that's stifling someone's free speech and not accepting that a man is trying to date, like he's trying to get a woman, trying to get into a relationship with a woman. How is he supposed to ask a woman out and get into a relationship if he's not allowed to ask women out, because it's considered sexual harassment? So if all these women, these feminists who claim that this stuff's bad, if they all want to be single, then that's fine. But the problem is, it's ruining it for the people who actually do want to get asked out, for those who do want to be complimented. Because I go around now, I've not been asked out or complimented for many's a year. And it's not because I'm older. I've actually found out that it's actually because men are actually literally afraid to ask women out or compliment them for fear of being accused of sexual harassment or whatever. Oh, it's nice. Nice. Pretty. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Hang on, see. Just saving the highlight. Okay, there's another example. So yeah, that's stifling free speech or freedom of expression in any way. I'm wearing the green and red tights today for Christmas, the Christmassy like elf ones. Let's see what another example. Oh yeah, another example. The one that's more my experience now. I mean, that was my experience because, like I say, I have to suffer because I'm one of these people who, I actually want to get compliments. I actually want to be asked out. But because of these feminists making it like abhorrent for men to ask women out, I have to suffer because obviously people see me and they think that I'm going to be, I might be the same as all these other people who are saying that it's wrong to ask someone out. That I might take it badly and they don't want a lawsuit or whatever on their hands. So now I've realised, like I've learned that that's the reason why no one asks me out or compliments me, is because they're afraid. Because I used to get compliments, but not all the time, but it's become lesser now, and I now know that it's because they're cracking down on all of this stuff. And they're also trying to say, the leftists and what have you, are trying to say that words and speech, people talking, is the same as violence. So words are apparently akin to violence. Now, yeah, they can be. Like, if someone's yelling and screaming at someone and, like, saying really vile stuff to them, like, trying to make them doubt themselves or tell them that they're, like, stupid or useless or ugly or any insults, like, insults can be damaging. For sure, I understand that. But there are some instances where people need to verbally express themselves in some way when they're being treated badly. And here's where another of my experiences come in. So I have actually emailed Morrison's about the incident that happened 2 years ago. And the incident that happened, I think it was this year or the year before, I can't remember. And they came back, the person that was corresponding with me over email is really nice. I just want to stress that they're really nice and have been very helpful and have actually resolved my issue. But what I am really not happy about, and I'm really pissed off about, is that they got in touch with the manager, and the manager has told them what I did that got me banned. You know, they've told the person who's emailing me why I've been banned, and they've reiterated it to me. And that is according to, now you guys remember why I was banned, right? I was banned because I misgendered someone in the shop, and the person who got misgendered went to the manager and told like loads of staff members what I said, and they were all like up in arms. I don't know why. All I can think of is that person actually shouted and screamed and was in hysterics when she told them what I said. Like, oh wow, this person said that I think the man, wasn't, because I wasn't sure if it was a man or a woman, or a man, like a man dressed as a woman. I wasn't sure. I was just curious. I was unsure, and I just said out loud that I don't know what it is. You remember, because it was on the live stream. And I wasn't banned immediately, and I came back to the store a couple of times. I was never told I was banned, and I said all this to this person corresponding me. And then a year later, I came back thinking, I can't possibly still be banned for something that happened a year ago, and it was such a minor thing. It's not even a bannable offence. I'm sorry. But I went back and they said I was still banned, and I called for a manager again. I spoke to her. Oh no, wait, sorry, I skipped a whole bit. So I came back 2 weeks later after the incident, and I said I was never informed I was banned, and I've been back twice since the incident, and I was never told I was banned. I even spoke to the manager, and he never told me I was banned. He just told me that he agreed with the trans woman, that what I said was bad. That was it. He never said I was banned, and I left, came back the next week, and I was collared by 2 staff members telling me that I was banned. And when I asked what I was banned for, they said it was for calling a trans woman a man, or like saying, is that a man? So they said I was banned, and they said I was informed the last time that I was banned for that. No, I wasn't. I was never informed I was banned, and I'd been back twice and even spoke to the manager, and he was fine. Apart from saying that he agreed with everyone that I was in the wrong, he never actually said I was banned. He seemed to be quite happy with me going in the shop. The only thing he told me was that I'm not allowed to record or live stream in the shop, and he said it's fine. He said don't panic. He said it's all right, because I did panic at the time, thinking I was in trouble. And he said no, it's all right. I just want to let you know that don't record or live stream, or you'll get banned. That's what he said. He said if I do it again, I get banned. So I said okay, I won't do it again. I haven't done it this time, I said, but I won't do it again. As in, I just won't do it. In general, I won't record in the shop again. So I told him this, and he was like fine. He was fine with me. The manager was fine. He never said I was banned. He just gave me a warning. And like I say, I came back the next week, and I came back the week later, and suddenly I'm banned, even though I never recorded again. So according to them, the reason why I was banned was because or when they spoke to me, they said it was because I called that trans woman a man. But now they're telling me in this email 2 years later that the reason why I was banned is because I was aggressive and that I recorded in the shop. That is now their reason. Now, you know very well, you guys know, actually on the, hi Issa, by the way, nice to see you here again. You guys know, because it was on live stream at the time and I spoke to you guys about it several times, that the reason why I was banned was because I misgendered someone. Now they're trying to tell me that I was banned because I recorded in the shop and that I acted very aggressive. Was I aggressive, guys? It was proof of evidence. There was proof of evidence that I never was aggressive. I panicked. Yes, I panicked because I had a bunch of people pointing at me and sort of like I could hear them saying, "Oh, that's the one, that's the one." And I will admit I panicked. Not because I thought I did anything wrong. Because I remember the manager said, "Oh, well, if you hadn't done anything wrong, you wouldn't have reacted like that. You wouldn't have reacted all panicky." And I was like, I reacted like that because I was afraid I was gonna, I just, all I knew was I was in trouble for something. I didn't know why I was in trouble. I didn't think what I did was bad. All I knew was that woman, like I say, her jaw dropped. So I knew that she was obviously shocked, even though I didn't say anything bad. So, what the hell? So anybody who's getting, like, I don't know, attacked in any way or accused, what the what's going on? I can't have put the bin there. Anybody who's getting accused of something or getting like verbally attacked or visually attacked. I mean, people like acting upset with you, visibly upset or visibly unfriendly is what I mean when I say that. Obviously, anyone who's faced with that is gonna, act panicky. It doesn't mean they're guilty if they act like, because dogs do it, don't they? They act all like scared when you tell them off, but they've got no idea why you're telling them off. So they don't know why you're upset with them. They just know that you're upset with them. They just know that you're not happy and that you're angry and get scared. And that is what humans do as well. It's not necessary that the human knows what they've done wrong, or if anything, which in my case I didn't do anything wrong. And I just knew that these people were all being hostile towards me. And I was like, oh no, not again, because I'd already been bullied a lot that time. You remember? I told you I went to the swimming baths and I got like these women staring at me. And then when I accidentally looked at one of them, they were all like, "Oh, she looked at us," and go making like a huge deal about it. And they were like staring daggers at me, You could feel the hostility. So it's like I didn't know what they were upset with me about, but I just knew they were upset with me about something. So I was like, oh shit, not again, it's happening again. People are upset with me. But as far as I was concerned, I didn't do anything wrong. So, yeah. So I'm not guilty, man. Oof. I'm exhausted. Hoovered the carpet, so I don't really want to trudge this yuck into the house, so I'm going to take my shoes off. Oh, she's putting the light on for me. Why'd she keep putting it this way? I'm home now. Right, what else was I saying? Oh yeah, I was saying about how what I could... So I was trying to figure out what possible moment that they have, that they could have misinterpreted as me being aggressive. They were being aggressive with me. And I reacted to it. Yes, I will admit I did react. Kind of badly. But not, like, I wasn't super aggressive. I just kind of, when I was at the checkout, because I felt like I was being attacked left, right, and centre by everyone that I met at that time, at that particular time in history, I was facing quite a lot of hostility with people. You know, people being hostile towards me at the time. So I will admit I reacted badly, and I turned around when I was at the checkout. I turned around and I kind of said, "Leave me alone. I haven't done anything wrong." But although I was upset, and I guess it could be misconstrued as aggression, because when people are upset or angry in any way, obviously they're going to kind of come across a bit aggressive, aren't they? They just didn't sort of understand that I was going through a lot at the time. Yeah? Right. Sorry about that. Yeah. So, when people are being attacked, I was being openly had a go at by the staff. And also by this woman who was upset with me. This is human nature, by the way. If a human believes that they have been misjudged in some way, or their actions are justified in some way, and I don't mean someone delusional like a criminal thinking they've done nothing wrong when they clearly have. I'm talking about a person who, I don't know, didn't start something, but they got a load of shit for it by people, if that makes sense. Like the injustice with these kids, for instance. Like they come, have a go at me, give me a hard time, and I've not done anything wrong, but if I react to them, I'm only reacting because they've started it. So then if I get in trouble for that, you know, because I did react to them, it's like, well, they started it. And I was only defending myself. So this was the case in this scenario. I felt like I was being, someone was having a go at me for absolutely no reason at all. I hadn't done anything wrong. And the fact that, you know, they penalised me for the fact that I've been aggressive, so they say. And all I do is react to it. Usually in the context of defending myself. So, yeah, that's human nature, is to do that. Human nature is when they feel that they've been wronged and that people are giving them a hard time, whether they argue with them for no reason or accuse them of something for no reason, of course they're going to react. Of course they're going to defend themselves against the person. So that's all that happened with me, is that I feel like I'm being penalised for no reason. So of course I turn around and say, you know what, leave me alone. It's like I've had this a lot lately where people have been accusing me of things and giving me a hard time. Just freaking leave me alone. So that's me defending myself as far as I'm concerned. That's not me being aggressive. I mean, yeah, it might have had an aggressive tone to it because I was clearly angry. But I'd had enough. I'd had enough of all the bullying and people giving me a hard time for no reason. So of course I'm going to, you know, turn around and retaliate in a way. And they just all they did was take notice of the way I acted, though. They didn't take notice to what I said. And as soon as I said that, as soon as I turned around and said, you know what, leave me alone, I've not done anything wrong, I'm sick of being treated this way. Of course, as far as they're concerned, and it was like, I actually heard what they said. They said, oh, that's nice, isn't it? Oh, you look at, you know, look at that, look at the way they'd be, you know, so it's like, they've just seen the way I've reacted. They've not really heard the words I've said, which was, I'm sick of people accusing me of things. leave me alone. I haven't done anything wrong. They've just seen the attitude. But that's beside the point. They're saying that that's the reason why I was banned, was because of me being aggressive. How is? Well, they just now they're telling me, they're trying to make it out now that the reason why I was banned was because I acted aggressive and that I filmed in the store. But that is not what they told me. They told me at the time I was banned for saying that the man dressed as a woman, I think that's a man. The comic's coming along. Hope you're okay. Oh, right, you just didn't finish the sentence. That's fair enough. I've done that before. Yeah, I don't know, I wrote something and I accidentally sent it. And I hadn't even finished what I was saying yet. It's so annoying. So I didn't send it. I just pressed a button and it sent the thing, like a comment. So silly when that happens. The comic is pretty good. I don't think I'm not 100% happy with it yet, but I'd love to show it to you. Oh, and according to my mum, my digital art or my cartoony art is not real art, apparently. Yeah. That's what my mum said. She said my art is not real art. Okay, yeah, that'll do. Let's see what else. So that's one. So basically I replied in the email and I said that because they said, basically the person said that they're willing to lift the ban as long as I don't act aggressive again and that I don't film in the shop. So I said I never did act aggressive. Yeah, I did stand up for myself because I felt like I was being wrongly accused. And like I say, people having a go at me. So I said, great, I'm being lied about. They're lying about me, so I'm going to... So, you know what? I said, I didn't say this exactly, but basically what I said was akin to, you can shove your ban uplift up your ass. I said, I wouldn't shop there again. If I needed to, I would think twice. I said, because I do not want to spend money at this shop when not only am I being banned for stupid things, but now they're even lying about why I was banned and even adding on things to make me look worse, which was saying that I acted aggressively. I said, I won't stand for this. I said, this is not acceptable. I said, I don't want to line the pockets of those that are basically lying about me and also adding things on to make me look worse. So as far as I'm concerned, they've added on the fact that I was aggressive. I never acted aggressive. So now my mum would have been really happy about me getting myself, because I will admit, I'll say that that's a victory. The fact that they have basically been willing to uplift the ban, I'm really happy about, and I consider that like a win and a victory. But I'm sorry, but I can't go to a shop that is going to be lying about me and lying about how I acted and what I said and why I was banned as well in the first place. Because the reason why they've done this is because they know very well that the real reason they banned me, which was for calling the man a man, for misgendering someone. They know that that's not a bannable offence. They know that if they told that person that I'm corresponding with now that, oh yeah, the reason why they banned me is because I, misgendered someone, they know they'd be like, what? Why are you banning someone for that? So they, of course, have to say, oh, well, we're not just banning them for that. We're also banning them because, oh, they acted aggressive and they filmed in the shop and this. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, that's reasonable then. You know, we can understand why you, you know, can you see it? So they basically added on stuff to make me look worse. So their banning me makes more sense, that their ban is justified. Because they know very well that is stupid, that their real reason for banning me was stupid. So I've actually seen this channel, this Australian guy with a beard, and the video that I saw was this person saying, "Don't call me sir," and it is another like trans woman, so a man transitioning to a woman, and he got all up in arms because staff members of shops and cafes and restaurants keep calling him sir, and he got all up in arms about them calling him sir and getting all upset. And the Australian guy said, oh well, he said what I said, that you obviously look like a man that's dressed up as a woman, and you're not like convincing enough for people to only see a woman. So if people think that you're a man based on how you look, then obviously they're going to call you sir because that's what they see first of all, is a man. You can't expect people to, unless you really pass really well as a woman, you can't expect people to read your mind that you want to be called, you know, female pronouns instead of male ones. That people don't know, like when people are passing you in the street and they don't know you very well, they just see a man dressed as a woman. They don't really know what's going on. Not many people are used to this. Like, they're used to it because they're in the community, and they probably do encounter a lot of people like themselves who are men that dress up as women. So it's the norm to you. But for people who are not used to the community and not used to men dressing up as women, it's going to be a novelty to them. All they're going to see is, oh, it's a man dressed up as a woman. And although they do accept it, and they're not going to, you know, grumble about it or anything, but they are going to mistake you for that. You know, they are going to think, oh, it's a man dressed as a woman. They don't know what to call you because they can't read your mind and they have not spoken to you. They're just doing what they think is right at the time, which, you know, they're entitled to do. I mean, if I got, to be honest with you, if I got misgendered in a shop, I wouldn't want to get the person who misgendered me banned. I wouldn't. In fact, I wouldn't even think that was possible. You're standing up to them Jobsworth twerps at Morrison's. It's ridiculous that Jobsworth supermarkets work as though Morrison's treating like a second-class citizen. Yes, that's right. So this aggression, right, it was me standing up to them because they were doing me an injustice. See, right, so in the past, when I've had people treat me a certain way, in shops or when I've been out and about or whatever, okay, I have been very quiet, okay, and I've not really stood up to them in any way, shape or form, because I know it's not going to go in my favor. Like, I always have like this feeling that it's not going to go in my favor. And when I used to tell people, particularly my mum, it was mainly my mum actually that I really told about this stuff, but other people have said it too. And they say, oh, you should have said this and you should have said that. You should have stood up to them. You know, you should have gotten angry. You should have let them know that, you know, the way you got treated is not acceptable. Like, be visibly angry and upset and stuff. They stand up to them. And I'm like, I can't do that. And I never knew why. I mean, I knew it would go badly. But this is why. Because when I do stand up for myself, and I do sort of, you know, well, stand up for yourself, that's all I can describe it as. Whenever I do that, I get penalised further. And then it becomes like this whole to-do, like the initial incident, you know, they're already pissed off about. But then when I stand up for myself and they accuse me of being uppity and aggressive and this and that and the other, you know, obviously that's even more like reason that they're giving to sort of, to ban me for. So it's like, okay, so your first account was that you did this little thing, but then, when we confronted you about it, you got aggressive and nasty. So that's another, like, demerit. That's that's another reason where we don't, that you're a shit and we've got to ban you for. So you can't win. It's like, I already don't like being treated like this, but then they further, add all these other things on to penalise you. Like I said, that security woman at Asda, she deliberately argued with me so that I will argue back, and then she'll say, right, you're not getting your prescription now. I was going to graciously let you have your prescription, but now that you've argued with me, that's it. And I'm like, but you started it. You started the argument to goad me. To goad me into arguing back so that you can say that I acted uncooperative and have a further excuse to either ban from the shop or to say, like, oh, well, you can't have your prescription. So to be honest with you, this is it's been years now. Or at least it feels like it's been a long time. In my book, anyway. Oh, shit. That I've been banned from Morrison's. And to be honest with you, I don't care anymore. Like, I don't care about that shop. When I was banned initially, I was upset because, it's a place where I went often. And they'd kind of gotten used to it. And I really liked Morrison's. But because obviously I've not been there for such a long time, I don't give a shit anymore. So that's why it was easy for me to just say, you know what, fuck it, I'm not going to be going in there and spending money in there after the way I was treated. Even if they do uplift the ban. I don't know whether that's right or wrong, but I won't be lied about, so I wouldn't want to, even if I did want to go there, I don't want to spend money with people that are painting me to be this really awful person who's aggressive. And, filming the shop as well. Now, yes, I used to live stream in there. But I mainly live streamed myself. I was trying to mainly get myself on live stream. And I was told by the people at Morrison's, and the people at Asda, by the way, the security guards at Asda, when we're on good terms, of course, I told them I was live streaming. And they said it was okay. Because I asked them. I said... Well, in Morrison's I did anyway. In Morrison's I asked. But in Asda they discovered that I was live streaming. Because they said it came up on their Facebook page or group or something. And they said, that they know that I was live streaming. And they said it was okay. They said not to worry, it's okay. And they said as long as I mainly record myself and don't deliberately try and get other people on it, they said it was fine. And so did Morrison's. Morrison's also said it was okay. Because I remember asking the staff there. They said it was okay. But now they're saying that that's the reason why they've banned me. And that if I do it again... Well, the first time they said, if I do it again, I'll get banned. But then suddenly I was banned for the other reason, even though they never informed me. But now that I've emailed them, now they're saying that I'm banned for filming and that I'm banned for being aggressive. So they can't make up their minds as to why I'm really banned. So this does not really make them look good, but they're obviously going to bandy together and say that I'm the crazy one. Connecting again. It's on live stream, so all you have to do is show it to them and prove. And prove it. But you know what? I can't use that footage to prove it, and you know why? Because one of the things that they're saying that I was banned for is recording. So if I prove that I was recording, that's just proof that I was doing one of the things that they're banning me for. Which, by the way, is very convenient. It's very convenient that all these shops can have CCTV to prove people being wrong or right, but I can't have my own personal CCTV or even like voice recordings. I can't even voice record as proof of evidence, and I think that is convenient. See, I know what they're doing. You know, I can see through it, and I can see that they are. But the reason why people get so up in arms about me recording is because they don't want me to have proof of evidence of what they say. So, and even if I do get proof of evidence, if I was to try and show my proof of evidence, they could turn around and say, oh, you were recording. And that is, you know, bad, obviously, you know. So that proves that you were doing what you were banned for, which is recording. Even though I was only recording for proof, and it has proof that they've wronged me. But that doesn't matter because recording in itself is one of the bad things. So there you go. What am I going? Oh yeah. Because I don't see why people get up in arms about me recording anyway. I don't know why you're not allowed to record in a shop. Like, so what's going to happen if I record in the shop? What's going to happen? What do they think is going to happen that make it so bad? Like, they don't give a reason why you're not allowed to record. And it's like you sort of point out, well, they're recording. They've got CCTV. And they say, oh, well, that's for protection and safety and this, that, the other. And I'm like, yeah, well, so is mine. So is mine. My recording is for my personal safety and my personal proof of evidence as to how a situation plays out. But the fact that they won't allow me to do that means that they want to always be right, and they want to make sure that they are always able to change the story. So I could have proof that a certain thing was said, and then like a year later, because loads of time has passed, they can say, like I say, they could change the story, which they have. Because there's no proof. And even if you have proof, it's like, well, they can say, oh, well, you're not allowed to record, so your proof is moot and void anyway. You know? So they're deliberately like trying to keep you down. So even if you have proof of evidence, it doesn't matter. So anyway, so that's one incident. And then, you know, the other incident is Phoebe. Now, for those who don't know what Phoebe is, it's a social network for fat admirers, fat people, feeders, feedies, and gainers. Everybody that's into fat people, the fat fetish community, and fat admiring. And now that one, it's funny, it never really occurred to me when I first joined Phoebe, and maybe the first year I was on it, but it's full of leftists. It's full of social justice warrior types, leftists, feminists, wokeists, and so on and so forth. And there was a time where, not knowing that this was going to be considered wrong, I got sort of reported by, blocked and reported by a guy and I admitted on the public feeds because I was annoyed. I kind of vented on the feeds that I've been blocked and reported because I stated that I was only attracted to white men, and it stirred up all this hate, and I had this like huge arguments on there, and they basically all said that it was bad that I said that, and I was racist and this, that, the other, and people even accused me of being like Hitler, and I'm like, what? I have heard many a times people like, let me remind you about the film called which was it now? Was it Princess Diaries? No, Mean Girls. It was Mean Girls, right? Now there is a character on Mean Girls who is, I don't know what his race is exactly, but he looks kind of like an Indian guy. I could be wrong. He was an Indian guy, and he turned down girls because they were white. And he stated several times in the movie that I only date women of colour. Now, isn't that racist? Isn't, by their standards, isn't that discriminatory and racist? Like, that they're willing to turn down possibly wonderful women just because they're white. Like, this is their argument, isn't it? Is that you're not allowed to discriminate based off of skin color. Well, isn't that Indian guy saying I only date women of color, isn't that the same thing as me saying I only date white guys? Like, you should be, if you have a preference for a certain skin type, surely that's fine. I've also heard people say they only date women that have tattoos and piercings. Like, there's loads of people who say, loads of different people that say, I only date this and I only date that. It's a preference. But so far it seems like it's okay for every other race to say, I only date this, that, the other race. But it's not okay for white people to say, I only date white people. And there's also loads of women that say, I only date black men. That's another one. That's another racist one. Again, by their standards. I don't think it's racist, by the way. I'm not saying it is. I'm saying by their standards. Isn't that racist as well? Isn't it racist, a black person saying they'll only date other black people, or a white person saying they'll only date black people? That's the same, as far as I'm concerned, as a white person saying they'll only date white people. But apparently that's okay, but it's not okay for a white person to say they'll only date white people. And I think that's wrong. Like, it has to... Oh. You know, here I was wondering where the takeaway was. And what am I going to do? Oh dear. And also, because they give me a hard time about this stuff, again, it's like they're trying to put down your free speech. Like, I should be able to express. I should be able to express if I'm only attracted to a specific race. So should everybody. Even the far rights should be allowed to express their right-wing views and opinions. But no, leftists are like, no, you're not allowed to say this and you're not allowed to say that and what have you. But isn't that like taking away free speech? It's like YouTube now censors words just because, you know, oh, the trigger words. Like words like rape and Even the word Hitler and Nazi and even Me Too, all this stuff, just because they don't want you speaking against it, you're not even allowed to say the word. Because, oh, the trigger words and they're offensive or something. It's like, no, they're just normal words. They're not curse words. They're not swear words. They're just normal words. Words that you have to use in order to, express what you're trying to talk about. If you can't say certain words, it makes it hard to express what you're talking about as well. So it's, again, ridiculous that you're not allowed to say certain words that are not even bad words as such. They might describe something that's not pleasant, but they're necessary for a language to be able to express what you're talking about. You're not allowed to say the word porn. You're not allowed to say, like, I think even the word suck and sucking, you're not allowed to say. I don't know, it's crazy. I hear a load of things being bleeped out in YouTube videos. And I'm like, what, because some things you can kind of guess what they were saying. But you can't always guess. Like, you don't always know what they said. So it makes it quite hard to know what they're going on about when they keep bleeping it out. Isn't this, like, all of this is the this is the work of leftists. This is all the work of leftists, the fact that you can't say certain words because they might trigger you. They might trigger people. But these same people are the people who go on about free speech. Well, how is that free speech if you can't either say certain words because they're censored, or you're not allowed to express an opinion because it's not a leftist opinion? That is obviously the opposite of free speech. That is them saying you can't say this and you can't talk about that. And if you do talk about these things, we're going to, gang up on you. And like I've been ganged up on so many times on Phoebe. It's untrue. And I've even had a person, like I said in one of my last live streams, that didn't bother to watch my entire live stream and what I was talking about because, I said some stuff that might trigger them or something. And it's actually because of this, because they didn't watch something because they were afraid of being triggered, that they missed a lot of vital points in what I was talking about. And they ended up, getting offended anyway because they didn't know what I was talking about. And it was only after I told them to watch it again that they say, oh yeah, I see what you mean. You did make valid points. Like they actually did. They conceded that I did make valid points. But they missed all those valid points because they were so afraid of getting offended that they turned me off. It benefits people to see the whole picture, to watch the whole video and not to just turn it off because they think they're going to get offended. Because you never know, you might not get offended and you might actually see the person's point more clearly and validly. But yeah, there was a lot of vital information that they missed because they were afraid of getting offended by what I was about to say, so they turned me off. They turned off the video. But in actual fact, if they'd continued, they would have realised that I was actually saying a load of valid points that kind of exonerate me from, it being offensive, because it wasn't offensive, and they conceded it wasn't offensive what I said, and that what I said made sense now. They actually watched it. I encouraged a person that was going to get triggered and offended by something I was going to say, to watch said triggering and offensive content, and they conceded it wasn't triggering and offensive, and that it was actually, yeah, I misunderstood you because I didn't watch that bit, but now I've seen it, I realise you were actually saying something, a very valid point. So there you go. It's worth watching something that you think is going to trigger you, because you might actually be surprised and it's not going to trigger you and it's actually going to make a lot of sense. So this whole, oh yes, oh we better put a trigger warning in videos, or people saying, oh I better not watch this video because it'll trigger me. That does more harm than good, actually. Because shouldn't they be able to be, educated on a subject? You can't be educated on a subject if you're going to switch it off. It's like, well, okay, I don't like math, so, I avoid math. But does that really help me? Does avoiding math help me? No, it doesn't. By avoiding math because it's, in my mind, difficult and I can't handle it, means that I don't learn math, so I end up suffering in life because I don't know math. It's the same thing. You can't avoid a subject just because you don't like it. You have to kind of put yourself through it, because in the end it will benefit you. So in these people's, like I say, oh yeah, we can't teach this in school because it's offensive. It's like, no, you've got to learn, you've got to go through it, you've got to listen. It's like, oh well, history offends me because there was racism in history, and there was slavery in history, and this bad stuff and that bad stuff, and women were treated badly and what have you. So, oh, I'm gonna avoid history because history was offensive because of these reasons and more. It's like, no, you've got to learn about history. You've got to. It can be very interesting. Maybe people are getting too flighty. I mean, sometimes it's hard to tell people's gender, and if you answer wrong, they will go mad. That's right. I mean, I don't blame people. I get misgendered all the time, but I don't blame people, because as far as I'm concerned, just like them, I know that I look female, mainly because of softer features and higher pitched voice and being smaller and slighter. I can't really pass for male, so I kind of accept that I can't pass. People, yes, they do have to accept that, identify as male. And, I would rather people use my preferred pronouns, which is male pronouns. But I don't expect people to automatically know when they've never met me before and never spoken to me before and I've never told them before. I don't get offended anymore. I used to get offended when I thought I could pass in the past, when I actually did. I was a kid, it's easier to pass as a kid. And I was very, very much able to pass as a kid. But unfortunately, anybody who did know that I was female would tell everyone that I was female. So then that was all ruined. The people that did treat me as male because they only knew I was male, that was the end of that. They didn't treat me as male anymore. That was usually my mum that would give it away. So I used to go mad. I used to go ballistic. And I used to be so upset and offended. Because I was like, oh, this person, for once in my life, this person only thought of me as male and treated me as such. And it made me so happy. But then somebody had to go and ruin it by telling them I was female. And that used to piss me off. So I understand their point of view as well, I mean, heck, I could have told the people at Morrison's that I'm also transgender when they were going on about it, when they were going on about me misgendering that woman. But they wouldn't have cared. I bet you any money they wouldn't have cared. They would probably just throw it back in my face and say, oh, well, you must know how it is for this person. Then, you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't misgender someone because you know all too well how bad it is, because you've gone through it yourself as well. They probably would have just said that or something, wouldn't they? So you can't win. Anyway, what was I gonna say? I forgot. For a lot of important things I would like to discuss. I would like to show you my art at some point, but I've got to do dinner right now, so I'm gonna have to stop the live stream now. I'm sorry, guys. I will show you my art soon, my comics. I promise. Real soon. I might do it in a video though, rather than a live stream, because I don't know when I'm gonna live stream next. It won't be long though. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, my Patreon, I can't get my money from that anymore, so I'd rather if people were to donate to me via PayPal instead. And I will give you whatever it is that you are paying for that way. Flufferpuff. Good night then. If I remember, I'll put my PayPal link in the description. I don't know what to do about Patreon. All I can do regarding Patreon is encourage people to leave and stop paying, because I'm not getting my money. So I would encourage people to leave Patreon, but support me via PayPal, and I will, I will give you pictures and videos and whatever it is that you pay for that way instead. So goodbye for now. Good evening. Yeah, bad Patreon.